Such a heavenly day, slick as ice, not a cloud in the sky. Very nice, wind in my hair, and everywhere there's a feeling of peace. But you tell me about the reason people change with the seasons. I don't have time for that. Oh no, I'm just grooving with the vibe. I can take being alive on this heavenly day. They tell me about the passion in the night, that hating is in fashion. I say, why fight? I wonder if we can live in a world of love and wonder, wonder, wonder. I can see a new day of devotion. Brothers and sisters, such emotion, working with our hands, doing the best we can, just grooving with the vibe. I can take being alive on this heavenly day. Heaven, heavenly, 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 heavenly day. Heaven, 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 heavenly day. Heavenly, heavenly day. Heavenly, heavenly day. I can see a new day of devotion. Brothers and sisters, such emotion, working with our hands, doing the best we can, just grooving with the vibe. I can take being alive on this heavenly day. Heavenly, heavenly, heavenly.
If you hold on just a minute, folks, I am, here I am. Good morning, Unity of Payson. I'm delighted that you're here this morning with us. And as we enter into this time together, this holy time, this holy place, this place where we connect and know the oneness that we are, let's begin this time in prayer. God of all goodness, God of all wisdom, God of all power, this morning we are grateful. Grateful here in Payson for the snow that covers our ground a little bit and brings us more water. We are grateful for that. For the brightness of the day. For the chance to be with one another. The chance to connect. The chance to sit, as it were, at the feet of the divine, knowing that the divine is within. And in that communion, we know ourselves. We know God. So bless us as we engage each other in this service this morning. I bless each one who has joined us here today. We are grateful for their presence. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning, Unity of Payson. My name's Betty Daly, and I'm your host this morning. We're glad that you joined us either here live or later on Facebook. We welcome everybody. If you are with us, I don't see anyone new, but in case I missed anyone, you can unmute and introduce yourself, or if you have invited someone. So we'll give just a moment to see if anyone is unmuting. I didn't think so. I thought I recognized everyone. And so if we were in person, we would be greeting each other. And so let's say together, we love you, we bless you, and we welcome you. Yes, it is. And we have an opening song this morning. And thank you, Jennifer, for choosing all of our wonderful music that we listen to. And it is Let It Be, sung by Cinnamon Twist.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see, there will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake wake up to the sound of music, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer. Let it be.
Let it be. And we are grateful that we can choose to not sit in worry and upset. And so now's time to be grateful. We're grateful to everybody that supports Unity of Payson with their time, their talent, or treasures. And we are grateful for the activities that we've had. Of course, our morning coffee and the Intender Circle and midday meditation and our discussion groups with Rick and Neil. And we're thankful for the technology that allows us to continue to meet like this. And we know that you all have many things to be grateful for. We have moved the group gratitudes to the end of service when we unmute, because then there is no time restriction and we can all have a lovely chat at the end of service. So we invite you to stay on and speak your gratitudes at that time. Unity is grounded in affirmative prayer and in meditation. And if you have a prayer need, you can give the phone number a call, 928-235-7142, and leave your prayer request. And if you would like to be contacted by one of the prayer chaplains, please leave contact information there, and one of us will get back with you. We hold the prayers sacred, we hold them confidential, and we hold them in prayer for 30 days here, and then I send them on to Silent Unity, where they are prayed on for another 30 days. So please take advantage of that. And our theme for this month is wisdom. The wisdom to wait for technology to catch up with us here. There we go. I can handle, oh, I lost the affirmation. There we go. I can handle any circumstance by tapping into the wisdom within me and all around me. And our speaker today is our own Rev Neal Worthington, and his talk will be on the still small voice. And for the metaphysical moment today, I've chosen something by Brené Brown. And when we are trying to listen to our still small voice, sometimes there are things in the way. So, from Brené Brown, I come to realize that faith and reason are not natural enemies. It's our human need for certainty and our need to be right that have pitted faith and reason against each other in an almost reckless way. We force ourselves to choose and defend one way of knowing the world at the expense of the other. I understand that faith and reason can clash and create uncomfortable tension, but it's our fear of the unknown and our fear of being wrong that creates most of our conflict and anxiety. We need both faith and reason to make meaning in an uncertain world. And the quote, faith is a place of mystery where we find the courage to believe in what we cannot see and the strength to let go of our fear of uncertainty. And so let go of that fear of uncertainty or control as you go within. And now, Reverend Neal will deliver our message for us. He is trying new technology this morning, so be patient.
Ah, thank you for your patience with me. Technology is always a challenge. So, we're talking today about a still small voice, yes, but really we're talking about conversation with the divine. You may have remembered Neil Donald Walsh had a series of 3 books called Conversations with God. That's one way to look at conversation with God. And you may have remembered an old Bill Cosby clip about Noah and the ark.
Neil, I need to interrupt you. You're not on live view. Sorry.
Start your video. I think I'm back. Am I good, Betty?
Yes, we are seeing you live now.
Thank you. I think you heard me before, but I was just saying that another take on conversation with God was the old Bill Cosby clip about Noah and the ark. And if you remember that, you're probably somewhere in the age category that I am, or maybe even a little bit younger. And in that clip, the voice of God boomed and said, Noah. And Noah looks up and said, who, me? Yes, Noah. And the voice of God boomed as he went on to instruct Noah, build me an ark. And of course, Noah didn't know what the ark was. But that is not the kind of conversation with God that we're going to talk about either today. We're talking about the still small voice. There is another story, another biblical story, perhaps not as humorous as the Bill Cosby version of Noah and the ark. And the story is about the prophet Elijah. The prophet Elijah, it seems, had offended Queen Jezebel because he insisted that there was one God, and the prophets of other gods, well, he eliminated them. And so he was on the run because Jezebel was out for him to do to him as he had done to the prophets of the gods that she enjoyed, and for her people that they worship those gods. On the run, Elijah finally was so exhausted that he fell under a bush for some sort of respite. And there he cried out to God, saying, take my life now, God. I'm just at the very end of my rope. And then fell into a deep sleep. After he slept for a while, there was an urge, a nudge that came to him that said, get up and eat and drink. Well, he kind of thought that was a little unusual because he didn't have any food or water. But when he wakened, there was a meal in front of him, food and drink, and he ate, he satisfied himself and fell asleep again. And a second time he was nudged to get up and eat and drink, and he did so. And then he began to move toward that holy mountain in order to worship the God who had delivered him up to this point. It took him a long time. The biblical story says 40 days and 40 nights, and I'm not sure if it was 40 days or 40 nights, but it was a very long time because that number 40 sometimes just indicates a very long time. And there at Mount Horeb, when he finally arrived, he found a cave, and he went into the cave. In that cave, he rested again, and as he did, the nudge came to him, the urge to go out to the mouth of the cave to be in the presence of God. He did, and when he got out there, the voice of God somehow, in some way, came to him and asked him what it was that he wanted. His response was that he had tried to serve God. He had tried to be faithful. He had tried to communicate to others that there was only one God, but he had been unsuccessful, and he wanted to be delivered. He wanted to clearly hear the voice of God. He wanted that conversation with God. And although this question of what he wanted was kind of there in his consciousness, he didn't really hear the voice of God. And he was waiting there in the presence of God for the voice of God. And let me read that one portion of the story. Now there was a great wind, so strong that it was splitting mountains and breaking rocks in pieces before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a raging fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, the sound of sheer silence. I like to think that voice of the divine coming to Elijah was a whisper. And that's what we're going to speak about today. That whisper that came to Elijah, that came to the young boy Samuel, that has come to spiritual masters and those who seek it, is there as a still, small voice. Nothing great, nothing earth-shaking, nothing momentous, but a still, small voice. When we begin to think about communicating with God, we do in our practice at Unity things like centering ourselves as we prepare for meditation. We talk about going within, looking for the divine within us as a point of connection and communion with the divine. And there it is, we say that the still small voice is to be found in the silence. I'd like to share a key spiritual truth that came to me as I prepared this message today, and here it is. The divine voice is heard in the silence of your soul. It is the powerful, still, small voice. Let's say that again. The divine voice is heard in the silence of your soul. It is the still, small voice. Of course, hearing a voice in the silence, the two don't go together. So it must mean something a little bit different than what we normally would think. We can't take this literally. We have to go beyond the literal into a metaphysical understanding of what this still small voice may be. And I'd like to just ask three questions. What is the still small voice? How can I hear that voice? And what significance does it have for me? First, what is the still small voice? One of Unity's first writers, Emily Cady, puts it this way. The still small voice might best be defined as the voice of God speaking to our soul as intuition. Note those last two words, as intuition. Now, the still small voice is rarely an audible sound. It could be a feeling, it could be an image, it could be a knowing, but it is clearly the voice of the divine as we listen very carefully. That's the important part of it. We have to be on the careful listening end of this conversation that we would have with the divine. This still small voice is also called the secret place of the Most High. It's the source of divine ideas, inspiration, inward knowing, and light. It's a sanctuary, a place of safety at the center of our being. And it's the voice of spirit speaking within the depths of one's being. That's a quote from Charles Fillmore, one of Unity's co-founders. In a simple word, it's something that I have not trusted too much in my life, nor known, but am beginning to know. The simple word is intuition. Intuition. That's what the still small voice is. But the question then goes, how can I hear that voice? Well, as the still small voice indicates, it's in quiet that we hear that voice. It's in quiet that we find it. We go beyond the noise of our life and we find that quiet place. A very simple step, but not one that's always an easy one to take. Another way to say that is to be still. To be still and know that I am God. To be still and know that I am. To be still and just to know. The being still is the crucial part of it. This, of course, is not done through our mind, not through the process of culturing our thoughts to be able to find and listen to that still small voice. It is, as we say again, through intuition. That, in order to get there, we have to attune ourselves to divine inspiration. Of course, we know that our understanding is that the divine is within us. Never are we missing that within us that is a connection with the divine. But we often are not attuned to that. So attuning ourselves to the divine is critical. And then, and here's the key to it all, to listen deeply, to listen carefully, to have your ears just open and ready to hear. I say that when I'm talking about physical ears, to have your being open to the hearing of that voice that may not be audible, that may be an impression, that may be a feeling, may be an image, that still small voice. This still small voice is the voice that utters within you. So what significance does this still small voice have to us? First, it unifies our heart, our mind, our very being. We talk about unity, that's our name. We talk about oneness with the divine. It is in that all-powerful, still small voice that we are unified in heart and mind and in being. This still small voice also connects us with the power of the universe. In Unity, we tend to talk a lot about mind and how that can be very powerful as we choose our thoughts, and that's true. However, the real power, the real wisdom is found not in culturing our mind, not in choosing our thoughts, but in first listening to that still small voice. And this still small voice is the completely reliable source of joy, of peace, and of knowing. When we hear that still small voice, we have an acute awareness. We often talk about bringing our awareness to this or bringing our awareness to that, but the base for all of this, the foundation, is listening to the still small voice to sharpen that awareness, to open that awareness to truth. And as we continue to listen to that still small voice, well-being envelops us, just comes entirely over us. Well-being. We know that, because this is knowing, this still small voice, we know that all is well. So in my life, here's how it works. I talked about quiet. I love quiet. I love the quiet of the morning when I waken and I sit in quiet. Sometimes that in itself is just enough to sit in the quiet. Or it's enough to walk one of the hiking trails in Rim Country, to experience the quiet of nature, and to know somehow in a very unique way, something that I otherwise would never know. So when I do this, not only do I get quiet, and this is a process I attempt to let go or forego, I won't even say let go, forego everything that's past and everything that I can project into the future, and to be present to that very moment. And it is in those times, sometimes as I'm arising from sleep and entering that quiet, that the still small voice appears. Can't really be seen, can't really be heard, but it certainly can be sensed in my soul. Many of you know that I've started to write a blog. And every Monday you'll see a new blog at the unityofpayson.org. And you'll see it also in the newsletter every Monday, as Terry shares it there. The blog is a wonderful experience for me because it's a time to be quiet and listen. And as I do, inevitably, I've got blog ideas beyond what I can write. I have a whole file on my computer for blog ideas, because in the morning, that idea, that inspiration arises from nowhere, and it's as though it's the still small voice for me. Sometimes it's things that I don't know mentally. It's something that just I know from the core of my being. I love this learning that I'm doing because I've not always had this, and I'm learning to listen deeply, to be quiet, to be present, and to hear that still small voice. And I'd like to suggest that there are a few ways that you can do that you can hear that still small voice. At least this gives you a start. Each of your experiences is going to be different than mine is. So you don't have to pattern yourself after a particular formula, but you do have to be quiet. You do have to listen. So here's I'm going to give you 4 things that I would say this is a way to do with it. If you want to hear the still small voice, deal with distractions. It's so easy for me to get distracted. I have many undone projects. I have much that's surrounding me that I don't need. And sometimes there's just a literal clutter around me. The more I let go of what I don't need, the more I clear that clutter, the more I finish those things that are mine to do, the easier it is to hear that still small voice. So I deal with distractions, and I also prepare to receive. And I recommend this for you. Preparing to receive means knowing what guidance it is that you want. You will knowing what that still small voice of the divine connecting with my soul. What is it that I desire? What is it that I need? Know that. And then, if you want to understand that a little bit more, write it down. I know we have a number of people that write in their journal every day. It's a wonderful experience, and in that very writing, we make clear for ourselves what it is we need and desire. Not only do we deal with distractions and prepare to receive, we tend to go there first, but we breathe deeply and we relax. Speaking as I did, we forego everything that's past, everything that's future. We reside in the present, not in the past or the future. We look beyond the circumstances that may be right in front of us to the all is well that we believe. And if you're not quite fully believing that all is well, I recommend you try it out. Pretend that it is so. It is truth. And in that, acting on that, you may get to know truth through the still small voice. And then forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for what you haven't done. Forgive yourself for who you are not or believe you are not. And listen. Keenly listen. Listening means not only having your ears peeled, as my father would say. It means an openness to nudges. Nudges are that intuitive push that is the voice of the divine. Listen to those. Listen to the synchronicities that come for you. 1, 2, 3 things happen. All of a sudden they're there. It's perhaps the voice of the divine. I challenge you to try it out and see if it's not. I think you'll find that it is. And then turn inward, of course, to the center of your being. Take your focus off as you've looked through those circumstances. Look deeply into the very center of your being. Does that take practice? Yes, it does. Keep at it. Keep working on it. Spend time in quiet, if not in full-fledged meditation. One definition that I heard of meditation is to sit down and shut up. Sometimes that's the key starting place. And then I would say, finally, listen for whispers. It is still small voice that is oh so powerful. So I turn to that key spiritual truth again. The divine voice is heard in the silence of your soul. It is the still, small, all-powerful voice. And so it is. So we will go now to our meditation song. We're going to get a little exercise, a little work on listening for that still small voice as we meditate. So as we listen to this song, prepare yourself to hear the still small voice. So, as we come this time, God's going to be, this is the word. Prepare yourself.
in this fury. God is holding me now. Untie the knot in what I am caught in. God is holding me now. Relax my hands and rest my eyes. Take a deep breath and realize that I can do this. I'll get through this. God is holding me now. In this moment, I'll step aside. I will let go and let God provide. Find my center. Let love enter. God is holding me now. Holding me now.
In the quietness, stay with that. If there are sounds around you, let them fade away. If there are distractions, turn from them to quietness, blessed quietness, holy quietness. And in that quiet, relax. Relax your body. Let it go limp, as it were. Let it be inactive for just a little time. As you do so, you're letting go of the past. As you do so, you're letting go of what you project into the future. And as you do, you find yourself in that one presence, that divine presence that is all and that is you as well. Powerful, that presence. And you feel it seep into your soul. So as you sit in that silence, as you experience the presence of the divine, I invite you to just clear your mind, clear your senses, and be open. And in that great open space that goes on forever and ever, that eternal space, sense a new kind of sensing, not one of the five senses, but a new kind of sensing, sensation that you have really connected with the divine. Bring then your desire to this place. Bring your request for guidance. Bring your request for wholeness. Bring it here to this quiet place. This place where you're open to sensing, open to knowing. Having that desire here with you, spend time with me in the quiet. Listen for the nudge, maybe the whisper, maybe the feeling, maybe an image that comes to you. Just allow it to emerge into this quiet place for you. I invite you to do that as we spend time together in silence. What is it that came up for you that you were suddenly aware of? That's the voice of the divine. Your intuition at work, that wonderful gift. So that which came up for you, came into your awareness, into your consciousness, let it enlarge. Let it be full. Let it be fully known. And as we return to our physical place, our sense of time as we know it, bring that back with you. That which was revealed to you, that utterance of the still small voice, keep it with you, knowing that you have had conversation with the divine. So become aware of your physical presence again. Perhaps wiggle your fingers or wiggle your toes as we come back to this service together, this experience of our oneness. We're going to move from this time of quiet to a time of opportunity to express. We have received so much, an opportunity to give. So it is.
And so it is. And we now move into a time of gifts and our offerings. The Unity of Payson is very, very grateful for all the gifts that are given that support not just this ministry, but as we tithe out to the larger community. And you'll have an opportunity here to hold in your heart what is yours to give as we listen to our offering song. But let's bless the intention of abundance and the intention of giving. Together, freely we give and freely we receive. And those offerings can be by check sent to P.O. Box 2582 or go to unityofpayson.org and go to the donate button. And now, our offering song.
I am one, simple and plain. No superpowers, no famous name. But I stand tall, 'cause I believe something greater has come alive inside of me. I have felt the Spirit stirring in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know God. I am one, but I'm not alone. When I'm with you, I am home. Side by side, we find the truth. When the Spirit in me meets the same in you, I have felt this fire burning in my soul, deep in my soul. I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, I know I will give love, I will speak peace, all because of the love that's got a hold of me. So wide open, so amazing, it takes my breath away when it occurs to me. In a world where so many feel lost, in a world where so many feel lost, in a world
that song gets me every time. I think I like to have the words to that, if anybody can send it to me. So, in gratitude for what we have received this morning and for what we are tithing, we say our blessing. Divine love through us blesses and multiplies all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive. We are abundantly prosperous and we give thanks. Yes, we do. And on to our announcements. So we continue on with our theme of wisdom for the month. And our speaker next week will once again be Reverend Neal. And his talk title is God is in Everything That Happens. And what a great reminder. And so for next week, this coming week, Rick is starting another, or I think he started it last week, a group discussion on the book Just One Thing. We had done this as a book study before, and to much applause, so tune in for that. And next, and remember, we still have our morning coffee going on and the intenders and all of those good things. A Course in Miracles with Reverend Neal is starting on Tuesday the 16th from 6:30 to 8, and that'll be the first and third Tuesdays of the month. So many people have been asking for Course in Miracles again. So thanks, Neal, for that. And on Wednesday, what's it all about anyway? The interview show with Marianne and Kay. I will be the guest this week. So come and enjoy. It is the third Wednesday of the month. It'll be this Wednesday at 6:30, and it lasts about an hour. And so I think they hope that eventually they get around to interviewing everyone, so we all get to know each other a little bit better. And also Marianne's birthday celebration and the equinox rituals. That is this Saturday, March 20th from 1 to 5 over at Rumsey Park, and that will be Ramada number 5. It's the big Ramada. And you can contact Marianne at mariannegardner@yahoo.com. You can see it right there, or call 928-533-2608 to get some details. We're going to have a veggie potluck and games, and do not bring a gift. She will be gifting to you as you come to her party. And starting in April, but the reason we're announcing it is because we need to have you register if you are interested in Donna's nonviolent communication. And this is part 2. So if you did not get to do part 1, still contact Donna either at Donna's Gmail or at unityofpayson@gmail.com. And like I said, you need to register by March 31st for this April and May class. And again, it has been much applauded and is back again. So communicate about that. And Neal, do you have any last PS for us?
I do, just a couple of things to speak about A Course in Miracles. Again, I'm excited to get this going again. However, you may not have the book and you may not have easy access to it. The study that we're starting on, well, I can send you the information that we'll be reviewing, and that will be the basis for our discussion this coming Tuesday night. Again, that email, unityofpayson@gmail.com, that's a great place to go very directly to request information or to contact us in any way that you may. I check that multiple times daily so that we can stay on top of everything that's happening. unityofpayson@gmail.com. So I'm so grateful that you all are here, and I'm going to sneak in a a gratitude a little bit early because I have the chance to do it. I'm grateful for your patience as we evolve things, as we learn things, and your spirit is wonderful as we gather here together, and I'm grateful for you. And that's all I've got. We'll move now to the end of our service, and we'll go to the peace song and the prayer for protection as we conclude.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every step I take, this is my joyous thought. I take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
And now the prayer of protection together.
God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. We are, God is, and all is well.
I love that, even though we missed a few words. So thank you so much for being with us. It's an opportunity now for you to go ahead and just speak out of gratitude. So please feel free to unmute yourself and share a brief gratitude with us. Go right ahead. Who will be first?
Well, Neil, I first see that Teresa posted something on, could we see the slide again that starts with, I can handle any circumstance. So that perhaps goes to Terry or to Tom if they know where that slide is.
Terry, I think that's the theme slide. If you can find that one.
No, see it? Not that one.
And I'm grateful for the moisture and the snow that we had, and
there it is.
Hopefully a good garden this year.
I'm also grateful for the snow that we had up here, and I'm also grateful for this community that I am having the good fortune to be connecting up with you all, and also women's. I went to a new moon circle last night, and that was also very nourishing, and that's also a community I'm connected with. So I'm grateful for both of these communities.
Great. Any other gratitudes this morning?
Joy, joining us from Colorado.
Yes, I am. Where we didn't get anywhere near the snow, but it's still coming down a little bit, I think. But it's anyway. But we got. I'm very grateful for what we're getting. That's for sure.
Any other gratitudes?
Well, I just want to say thanks to Neil for continuing to learn and express visually and auditorily to us all, and to the tech team, Terry and Tom, and to I was going to say Reverend Betty, but probably shouldn't. Anyway, to honor her for such warmth, and Jennifer, the music, again, amazing. it really puts a wonderful experience together for everybody. So I thank you for that.
I agree. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, everybody. This is really special.
So feel free to say another gratitude or greet each other in a few moments before we end the meeting. Again, I'm so glad you're here.
Well, I'm Frosty. I second all that.
Hey, Marianne, how are you feeling today?
Much better, thank you.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Hear it.
Betty, I'll send you the words to
Oh.
I know.
Yeah, because that song has an effect on me. Like the very first time when I went to Science of Mind Church and we sang the peace song at the end, it was about 6 months, maybe longer, before I could sing it without crying.
Mm-hmm.
And so that song has the same effect. So I would love the words to it.
All right. I have them.
Thank you so much. Well, everybody, I'm going to scoot, but have an absolutely blessed, glorious day. Hugs to all.
We put our hands up in blessing. We affirm our connectedness. We affirm our divinity. And we go on to the day. By the way, I'm going to send those suggestions of that, how to do it. I'm going to send that out to everybody so you'll have those as well.
Okay. Thanks, Neil. Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Be safe if you have to go out, and wear a mask. Peace.